Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Music Wars, Episode 8. I'm your host, Judah Terry, and I'm joined by Nintendo music producer Eli Turp as we go head-to-head with some of the best video game music on the planet. It's boiling hot. For those of you who have just clicked on this episode, I find it funny. I just opened it with boiling hot and then just gone to the intro of what this episode is. Sorry, guys. It's very hot in the UK and I'm dying. But anyway, this is a series where me and Elijah, my good friend and Nintendo music producer, as said, would choose 2 OCTs from a Nintendo game. We present 3 of our favourite tracks from that OCT. And then we argue why our chosen one is better and should win for the week. And you guys have to vote as to which one you preferred at the end of the week. You will find the results. The people with the most votes wins for that week. And at the end of the series, episode 10, the person with the most votes wins the Nintendo Music Wars. And it's been very interesting. Elijah, how are you doing on this melting day?
Melting, yeah.
There's nothing else to describe this day, to be fair.
Honestly, it's been hell, honestly.
It has. It is literally hell. Literally. Not like hell as in the word to describe something bad, but it's hell as in it's the heat.
Yeah.
The general suffering heat that you just can't escape. It's hell. I don't know why. I've got no fans, no AC. I've got all my friends that sit in the room going saying, "Oh, I wouldn't survive without a fan." I'd be like, "Well, be me then," because I'm surviving without a fan. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And whacked all my money out on a Switch, so I can't buy a fan. But that's how it is. But yes, I've got no water for this episode for the podcast, and I've said to Elijah before, I've got no water. And he's probably like, "Why? It's why?" But the reason is, Elijah, I had an emergency problem earlier on midday.
You pissed yourself on it.
Yeah, I did. I pissed myself. I actually almost did. I almost did, Elijah.
Yeah.
I almost did piss myself. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I decided it'd be a good idea to have like a 900 Scoville. It wasn't 900 Scoville, but just to say it was extremely strong. Spicy ramen. And now this is the small story. It was in the back of my shelf. It was out of date. It was a ramen that was given to me by my ex-girlfriend 3 years ago. If not 4 years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
If not 4. It's a long time ago. Like before COVID, I think. This was given to me. By my ex-girlfriend now. And this was 4 years ago. And I saw it in the back of the cupboard and I was like, you know what? I might give it a try. And the ironic thing is, it was a hot day, and I did not realise how hot what I was getting myself into. So I boiled the ramen up, like, the ramen was boiling up in the stove. Pour it into the bowl afterwards, and then I get the sauce, pour the sauce in, mix it all up. It smells delicious, looks delicious. Then put the herbs in, mix it all up, and like perfect, some Korean food. I just literally, my tongue just touched the first noodle, and my mouth just blew up. I started coughing. I was like, what on earth is this? What have I got myself into? The South Koreans have got it different. Like, what is this spice? Like, what is this spice? And I was like, what is going on? And Elijah, because here's the funny thing, right? This was given to me after this girl broke up with me. So I was like, is this a punishment or something? Because it literally was the worst, I'm talking the most spiciest thing I've ever had, and it was like pure Korean, all Korean writing. And it was horrible. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be an idiot. And I just winged it, stuffed the thing down my throat, one mouthful, and I was gone. I was coughing. I was red. My lips were on fire. My mouth was on fire. The worst it's ever been. I'm ranting about this, but man, I was gone for hours. I was just suffering. I could not leave my mouth for 5 minutes without putting some juice down it or some water down it and some ice. I was using ice cubes to like freeze my lips. But it still was having no effect. And then I forced myself to eat half of the bowl. And by the time I was almost physically sick, I decided it'd be a good time to give up. So I drank about 10 glasses, like full pints of juice, milk, and water and ice cubes during that season. And then I crashed down and had a nap, including a lot of other crazy stuff that happened today. But let's just say, Elijah, I almost died. That's right.
I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, it was kind of your fault, but at the same
It
time,
is.
like,
Yeah.
I feel like every time you come to me and you're like, "Oh, I did this thing, and I was so stupid. I did this thing. I wanted
Yeah.
to be a man. I wanted to do this." I'm like, mate, just stop. You know you're a man. You're not proving
Yeah.
it to anyone. Like, you're just injuring yourself or hurting yourself or
I know.
putting yourself through hell. It's like, man,
I've
come on.
got, I've got this stupid mentality where I'm just like, I can do it because I'm a man or something. Elijah just nailed it in the head, and I need to stop being stupid. Last week, I almost collapsed in the middle of a field because I wanted to show off that I
Yeah.
could walk in the heat wave. And
Mhm.
now I thought I would, and I was, by the way, filming some of this ramen to send to another person to say, look, I can do this. And I literally thought I was going to bring up all my breakfast previously and the previous lunch I just had. So, and thankfully my stomach kept it in, but I was over the toilet, and I'm not going to go into that. It was bro. Welcome to the Nintendo Music Wars.
Yeah, where we talk about Judah's bowel movements.
Yeah,
Let's
Judah's
go.
bowel movements, Judah's spice, and all I want now is a cold cider and a cigar and to relax. I don't know. I'm just done with life now. I'm never ever gonna eat something spicy again, Elijah. Ever. That closes off how my day was. And I'm sure all my viewers and thus people listening want to hear the results of the Nintendo Music Wars. So, without further ado, this is a good day for me. This has made my day. Elijah, I almost died today, but this has kind of revived me. I was really interested because, of course, first of all, let's just say what we voted for last week. The winning, not the winning track. I'm not saying that straight away, but the last week. The vote you chose. What did you choose, Elijah, for last week's? What's your?
I chose Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations.
You did, and that's like your signature stuff. That's what you are involved with.
That's what my channel's known for. Yeah.
That's what your channel's known for. I think remember you said to me once, if you lose this, you're gonna like jump out a window or something.
I'll quit the podcast, but here I am.
Quit the podcast, but here he is. Well, that's a hint to who won. And then I chose Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And I thought it'd be a close. I thought, at least Elijah would get at least 50% or something. I thought it'd be.
I thought it would be like 60-40, really.
Yeah, so I thought
That's what I thought. But...
because it kind of switched around last minute as well. YouTube votes, I was winning on the JR's Gaming podcast community, and then actually Ace Attorney took over, and then
on my channel was completely one-sided. Like I even had comments being like, "Is this even a competition?" I'm like, "Damn!" Like, they're so enthusiastic about it.
Well, that's brutal. I mean. I can understand their bias because they're Ace Attorney fans as well as subscribe to you, but that's a sweeping statement, man. I think from Scarlet Violet.
The thing is, like, my channel is, I even have it in my description, mainly Ace Attorney and Pokemon. Those are the two franchises I name.
There's some Pokemon.
That's the thing. So they're all like double fans,
Damn.
But they still think. Anyway, I feel like it's more of Ace Attorney fans are very. Like they're very, they love Ace Attorney. But then not many people know about Ace Attorney, so then there's not that many Ace Attorney fans. It's that kind of thing.
Yes,
it's a tight community, but not many people are in the community.
And the people who are in the community fight for that community.
Yeah, of course.
So do you want to get some of those comments up while we read out? While I get them up, so you can read them out. But while I'll do that, I'm going to read out the results. So the winner of this week with 73%, 194 votes. Is your host, Judah Terry, which is me. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet won with 494 votes, which was massive. Compared to Elijah coming in at 27%, Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations, 182 votes, not too bad, almost 200, if you think about it. Votes. I mean, to be fair, I thought that was a bit unfair. I thought that Ace Attorney would get more, but it just seems that in the grand scheme of things, you guys like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And then
I think it was that kind of Pokemon versus Ace Attorney kind of franchise battle because
exactly.
Yeah, because let me read out these comments first. So
read out the comments.
Asian, not Asian, said not even close to Trials and Tribulations. Soundtrack is legendary. And then Avery Tube, who has commented before on your things, he said, is this even a contest? Like they're all for Ace Attorney. And then on your I noticed on your channel,
yes,
there was a comment on your post. Let me get
by Prowler King. I've got actually.
You got it.
Yeah.
He said never played Ace Attorney before, but I know that Area Zero music slaps hard, and that's what I was thinking was I was happy for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to win, but I wasn't happy with your choices because I feel like they didn't display the soundtrack well at all.
Yeah.
But it seems it still won in the end, with some people
Yeah.
being like, "Yeah, I already know about the music." So
Yeah, I think probably people voted from their pure just fan base or choice because
I think it's I'm happy that people like I'll still be happy for Pokemon to win, like I said before, and I'm still happy that Pokemon won.
It's
Yeah,
got to jump out the
I would
window
have been
now.
unhappy if people only voted based on like the ones you gave, but it seems
Yeah.
they voted based on their own ones as
Oh,
well.
I don't think so. Maybe they voted on the ones I gave, you know?
Yeah, they did. They're fools. Now, the thing is, a lot of people do say like, "Oh, I've never played Ace Attorney, but I play Pokemon, so I vote for Pokemon."
I mean, I do.
Every week I try and say,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you played the game or not. We're talking about the music, not the games. You know, if we show you teasers of the music as well, so you can listen to it if you've never heard it before.
Yeah.
And you're meant to base it based off of what you hear, not what you know, like of the game. And I keep trying to say that, and it's like every week no one gets it. Ah, man.
Yeah, I know. It's a stressful game. It's a stressful war. This is why it's a war. It's stressful, you know. There's all sorts of things that
The
can get.
soldiers are all idiots. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm still
You guys are
waiting for it to
great.
jump out the windows. Yeah.
And I'm still happy that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet won because it is my second favorite Pokemon soundtrack of all time. But yeah, I just feel like Trials and Tribulations should have gotten more. You know?
I do.
And I was confident because of the comments on my channel, and we got like 37 votes, which is pretty good from my channel alone.
Yeah, I thought you got 40 in total from both of ours.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, that's good. You know, he's got some good stuff here. Then I went to the emails and Instagram and everything else, and I was like, whew, not much people do Ace Attorney here. So that's probably because my audience, or the Jow's Gaming Podcast audience, they're very Mario Pokemon fanned up. So some of them may not even have heard of Ace Attorney. They're just like, yep, it's going to be Pokemon. Maybe they didn't really consider it. So we do ask you guys to consider, you know, do check these tracks out, the full OCT. Don't just choose, as Elijah said, don't just choose off our teasers. You know, go and check the full thing out.
Well, I mean, I'd rather you choose off of a teaser than of a prior experience. That's what I mean.
Yeah, well, I chose like a pretty rubbish last. It's like just a boom boom.
No, not even about that. It's more like I'm happy for people to vote just to listen to what we say, listen to the teaser, and vote off of that. You know, I'm happy for them to not do anything extra. But what I'm not happy about is when they disregard a soundtrack completely because they haven't played the game. Like, you don't need to play the game to appreciate the music. Rather than just going, I've never played Ace Attorney, you're just going to disregard it. I'm like, come on. You know?
Oh, yeah, no, I get what you mean there. Yeah. Definitely without playing it. Like, I've not played Xenoblade, and I love the music, and I was so happy it won. And that won massively. Like, it was not even close, I don't think.
But anyway.
I'm
salty. All right, fine. I'll admit it. But respectable, you know. I already saw them winning. I just didn't see them winning this much. You know?
Maybe that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to end all things like this morning, so you didn't have to kill me when we go into the podcast. Because I was like, Elijah's going to absolutely murder the hell out of me when he finds out the results. But no, thankfully not, and hopefully he still doesn't. But anyway, Elijah, without further ado, I think. Still yet to be. Oh God! But anyway, the standing points are very proud to say. Judah has got 3 points now. That's me. Gone up the list. You know, it's a bit like the chase, isn't it? Like I've started to take. I'm chasing you, and then you're 4 points. So yeah, 1 point ahead now.
Still in the lead, but yeah, you could
still
catch
in the lead.
Yeah.
Now I actually. This is going to be interesting. Well, yeah, I'm going to say later on. This is going to be very interesting because I actually haven't really got anything bad to say about Elijah's choice. And that being said, Elijah, take it away. What have you chosen this week?
Okay, so this week I've chosen Tomodachi Life. Now, I'm sure many of us who grew up in the kind of 3DS era will know of or have played Tomodachi Life.
Indeed.
I've been playing it a lot recently since you know I enjoy the kind of real-time simulation type of games. But I never thought much about its soundtrack like while playing it. But you know, I've always enjoyed listening to it. It's very memorable and full of life and quirky, but yeah, I never thought to give the OST a listen like on its own. So while I was drumming earlier for a few hours today, I listened to all of the 200 plus songs for 2.5 hours, and I honestly, surprisingly, don't regret it. I discovered
200 plus songs, man.
Yeah, 2.5 hours of my life gone, but I don't regret it. You know, I
That's good.
discovered that
Good for
the
you.
game has like region-specific music, which is interesting. A lot of stuff for like Korea and
Yeah.
Japan, which you don't get in the Western version of the games. It's quite
No, you
cool to
don't.
see.
I only just found that out. I knew there were different versions, but I didn't know the music was different. That's really interesting,
Yeah,
man.
there's loads of like cut songs all from Japanese version, and they're really good as well. So
Oh,
it's a shame, but yeah,
wow.
yeah, it was interesting to learn that to discover it. Plenty of jingles. If you don't know what a jingle is, it's obviously a short little
Hmm.
thing. Like imagine like a radio. In fact, you know what a jingle is? Imagine the intro of
Yeah,
Jazz
it's
going.
like like an intro, like a small little thing here and there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
it's not like a massive song. No.
Yeah, there's way more than I thought because there's so many of them. But most importantly, I noticed how much effort went into the soundtrack.
Mm.
Not only is it obviously long, I think 200 plus tracks, that's a lot, you know. Um,
Yes,
but
yes.
the amount of songs that have like 6 or 7 different versions of them, like I think that's
No,
insane.
that is insane. I think it's time I said, Tomodachi Life, absolutely one of the golden games. It's up there. It's up there. If you type
Mm,
in, top 5 best games for the 3DS, if you want to buy something for the 3DS today, then it's going to be Tomodachi Life. That's going to be on that list because it's just one of the absolute, best games that have ever been made for the 3DS. So,
mm.
with a lot, it's just, I don't know. It's just something about it.
Even
It's
in
got
the
this,
Nintendo Direct,
yeah.
loads of people were spamming Tomodachi Life 2 in the chat.
Yes, yeah,
And
we
yeah,
spoke
that
about
is
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
for me. Yeah, that's annoying. Like, come on, appreciate the games on
yeah.
screen, but also it shows
Mm.
people love that game so much.
People still play it to this day. People
Yeah, I mean,
still use
I
their
played it
3DS.
today. So
I mean, it's funny. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm happy that. I was very upset and grave that Elijah had not got the game sooner. But he got it
yeah,
this
yeah.
year. He got it this year, and he got it this summer, and he's now
Mm,
actually into it. And I hope the addiction grows because it's such a great game, man. And I still pop onto it, from time to time. I never leave that
mm,
game hanging. I mean,
yeah,
I've
yeah.
like I've got over loads of islanders, so like I need to like check up on everyone. But I
Mm,
like to update everything. I like to delete people I don't know anymore. Like I find it quite funny, like because on Tomodachi Life, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what Tomodachi Life is. If it's not, type it up because I can't be asked to explain what it is. It's just a really good game, but with
it's
simulation and making.
very weird
Yeah,
as well. I think it's a
yeah,
really weird game. It's got that
yeah.
weird like
It's got something
Nintendo
about it.
uniqueness, but also it's just weird. Like the
It's
amount of
got
times you'll
mystery about it. Yeah, it's really funny though. Like
yeah,
if you
very
had that
funny. Yeah, yeah.
if you had that like dream, or is it not a dream? It's just like a letter on the roof. Have you had that yet?
Yeah, plenty of times. Yeah, there's
I
all
was like,
sorts of
what?
there's so much
Oh.
random stuff that would make you go like it's got a very unique sense of humor. But it's funny. Like it's genuinely funny.
The pickup
And it
lines.
yeah, all
I
of
was
it.
always. I remember one of my favourite ones was. I was always a regular copy, but you made my life creamy. That was a golden one.
Sorry. Like honestly, all the writing in the game is so funny,
Yeah,
and yeah, it is weird, and there's a lot of weird dreams and things like just like
indeed.
not like I don't know, it's just it'll catch you off guard. Like you'll see it and you're like, who thought of this?
What? It's like someone was high
Yeah, but
right
then
in the
it's great.
game.
It
So
really
what
does feel
is
like a
this?
fever dream half the time, honestly.
It
But
does.
it
It
was great. Yeah,
does.
it's a great game, very unique.
Yeah.
It's got its own kind of personality and that Nintendo charm. I feel like you know.
Nintendo charm. It has. It has. I think that uniqueness has actually given it its prime. It's
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of top sell. It's given it like its fame.
yeah.
The very fact my friends still play. You're not the only guy who plays it to this day. Like I got friends in my friend circle that still play it.
Mm.
So it's just like wow. It's just like it's just insane to be fair. But yeah, Tomodachi Life, I still play it, and yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, I'm having a blast because it's like I
Mm.
watched YouTubers play it when it first came out, and
Yeah.
so I saw everything.
Oh, Dan
But then
TDM
it's been
series.
yeah, Dan TDM, especially him. But it's
Yeah.
been so many years since then that now that I'm
Yeah.
playing it myself, I'm like, oh, I remember this. This is really like
Yeah.
so much stuff.
Oh,
And
here we
I
are.
love
I've
it.
got it up here. Guess how you have to guess. I think you may know this already if you've done your research, but guess how many the Tomodachi Life franchise sold worldwide.
Oh, I don't know how much.
Okay, so as of March 2023,
Hmm.
they have sold over 13.37 million copies worldwide.
Wow, that's
13.
a lot.
That is a lot of.
That is
It
definitely up there
ranks.
as like one of the best 3DS games
It's in the
ever.
top 3 most best-selling games for the
Wow,
3DS.
okay.
Yeah, top 3.
I didn't
So
think I knew it was like popular. I didn't think it was that popular
yeah,
as well.
yeah, it
Hmm.
is. I mean, understandably, it's just
Hmm.
really addictive as well. I can't put it down until you pick it up, and it's. I mean, even if so, like if you get again, it's like an Animal Crossing sort of game where you can return to it if you're playing like a Xenoblade or you're playing something, um, big and like an RPG, and then you want something to relax to in the evening, or you finish with that. You
Yeah,
can pick up a Animal Crossing, or you pick up Tomodachi Life, and see your family and friends just being weird.
yeah.
So it's just
Simulation games. It's great. Yeah.
simulation game. So yeah, awesome choice, man. I'm glad you picked it today, and I'm interested to see what you say. Yeah.
Yeah. About the songs having multiple versions, kind of thing.
Mm.
So like, obviously, there's a kind of song that plays. Let's say you give me food. You know, they either love it, they really like it, they really enjoy it, they enjoy it, they
Go to
like it a little
space.
bit, they don't really like it, they really like. There's so many different things, and they all have their own like jingle or their own whole song for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. There's a great level of detail. There's a lot to be done here. Clearly, hence why it's such a long OST.
It's
There's
insane, man.
so much to fit in. But even stuff like you can give someone a gift, or you can take them somewhere, do anything. I don't know, and it will spark a slightly different reaction, like based on their personality as well. And there's like, what is there? There's
loads of personality stuff. In
16 different personality groups.
Yeah.
So that's so
massive.
many different. Yeah, there's so many different versions of the songs, and they didn't have to do it. They didn't have to put that much detail into everything, but they did, and that's great.
Exactly.
I think.
I mean, it shows you that quality over quantity shows that it pays off, because the amount of work they probably put into this game in the makes, like.
Well, the thing is, for this one, it's quality and quantity. So,
yes.
Yeah, it's both. It's a rare case of both. Yeah,
it is. It is.
No, but yeah, they've got all sorts of remixes for all sorts of things. Yeah, but it's great. There's plenty of hidden tracks as well behind activities and things that people wouldn't really appreciate or get to hear properly with the DS speakers. So I think it's good to listen to in your own time, and it makes you really appreciate all the work that went into it. I think it's great.
It constantly surprises me, though. It's never yet failed to surprise me. Because being someone who's played it for years now, I will admit, after about the first year, sometimes I start to feel, it's starting to get a bit repetitive. But then something happens that has never happened before in all that year, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? Hang on, and it's kept doing that. It's been about 3, 4, 5 years I've had the game, and it's still surprising me, and that's me being dead honest with you. So, and to the point where I still pick up my 3DS and play it. So it's like
so much tucked away,
so much tucked away, man. Yeah, it's just
both visually and audibly. It's great.
Exactly, and I've never really thought about picking the OCT, and I'm glad that you're giving this game recognition. And I think a lot of people are just going to vote for this game off the title itself. Because
I hope so. I hope so, because really it does deserve that kind of recognition. Yeah,
it's definitely got it. Definitely got it.
I mean, recognition within our audience as well, because you have an interesting group of people who are listening to these kind of things, and they're very mixed. And it's interesting to see. There's a lot of them that think the same way, but then there's certain things that people are very split on. So
because unique and wonderful. So it'd be interesting to see what you guys think, because we've never actually. We've had a couple of emails in over the year since our year and a half of doing podcasting. Me and Roan have definitely had some emails that have been talking about Tomodachi Life.
We've had one as well. We had a question of the week before.
Yes, we did.
About it. Yeah.
So we definitely have the fans, and now it's just time to see it explode. I think this is going to get a lot of votes personally, from my audience alone.
But
it's
the soundtrack,
really well done.
Yeah, it's charming. It has a charm. It's drawn me in. It continues to draw me in, and there's individuality within the soundtrack as well. Yes. And I don't mean that, or with the soundtrack, not within. I don't mean it like in terms of each track is different, because there's plenty of like remixes and leitmotifs. But I mean, like, in terms of comparing it to other 3DS game soundtracks, I think it really stands out. It's had a lot of love put into it, and it oozes that unique, positive vibe that you get from Tomodachi Life itself.
Yeah, and it's also a good icebreaker for friends. Like, I remember just like, as you did today, actually, like, I still do sometimes. I send pictures to my friends of like what we're doing in the game, and it's like an icebreaker. Yeah. So like, oh yeah, by the way, this is what we were doing in the game, and then you sent me one today, and it's just always interesting to see what we're getting up to. And me and you are playing guitars. Interesting.
There's so much random stuff that happens as well. Like sometimes I'll just go past someone's apartment on the Mii thing, and they'll just be like
rolling on the floor.
Yeah, they could be lying on the floor, like they could have like a party with 4 people dancing in a circle like a cult or something. I don't know. Like, I'm like, how did this happen? Also, friendships sometimes just happen behind the scenes. So I could like click on someone, and I don't expect them to be friends with someone, but suddenly they're just hanging out in the room. I'm like, since when were you guys friends? Like, it's very. There's a lot of surprising things as well.
Yeah, any romance?
You can find them on the beach trying to dig up treasure and all sorts of things.
I know. So wow, you give them stuff and they'll use it as well.
Yeah,
It's really fun.
yeah, gifts are really good as well.
Yeah.
Also, if you give them like a CD,
Mm.
they get like a boombox and things. And
Mm.
again, for their individual personality, they play something different.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
like the little hidden thing you wouldn't notice
I
that.
did. I didn't notice that, man.
Exactly, but they all have a different song depending on their
Well
personality.
spotted.
It's great.
Well spotted, man. That's insane. It's like it's giving me a new respect for the OCT now because I never really. I mean, I love the main theme alone. That's just got a
Yeah.
really nice.
It's iconic, that one as
It's
well.
iconic. It's like it's a bit a bit like uppy, happy, clappy, and then it kind of as you listen to it even more, it kind of gets a bit emotional in its own way, and it's just nostalgic for me. Very
See, for me,
nostalgic.
I have the Tomodachi Life main theme
Mm.
and then the Animal Crossing New Leaf main theme.
Mm.
Those two are like burned into my brain so hard because when I was a kid, there'd be all these adverts on the TV for like like the Nintendo 3DS is out now. Get it with Tomodachi Life. Get it with
When it was famous,
Animal
when it
Crossing.
was actually
Yeah,
big.
when it was a new big thing, like when I
Yeah.
was like what 11, probably
Yeah.
younger, probably younger than that.
Yes.
But like when it was that time, and these games came out, and you could see them on TV on like daytime children's TV, whatever it may be, and I'd hear them all the time, and that like it's stuck in my head. And they're
Yeah.
so catchy. They're so nice. Like I don't know. It's iconic. Truly. Yeah.
Same. It's just the
Really good.
nostalgia that hits me because not only have I played the game for so long, I knew the game soundtrack again from all the TV adverts, all the stuff going around about it. And for so long, I wanted that game. I begged my parents, "Can I get that game?" And I've actually got it for Christmas with my grandma. I remember I didn't have my DS on me though. I left it like back in.
Right.
I
Yeah.
left it, and I got the game in all the way down south. I was like, no.
That's happened to me recently, actually. Like a couple. I think actually it was just last year. Went up to see family for Christmas, and they got a bunch of games for the Xbox, and I was like, "Well, I'm a week away from the Xbox. What am I gonna do?"
Oh no!
Yeah,
All he does is like sit there and stare at his games.
read the cover for ages, over and over, like waiting to play it. That's what I did.
It's funny you said that. I relate to that. I just relate to that. When I was waiting for Animal Crossing, when I was waiting for my Switch to arrive, I was just constantly reading the cover of the game, just staring
Just
at the
looking
cover,
at it like
look at every single detail. Just
yeah. I mean, you had a guide as well.
I had a guide. Though. I had
Which
a
is
lot more
even
to look
better,
at. I've still not read it yet. All of it. It's insane, man.
I mean, there's a lot to it. Yeah.
A lot to it, yeah. And interesting things to say about Animal Crossing in the next main episode. But yeah. Carry on with your Tomodachi Life. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Not only is the music good, but you can write your own songs, as I'm sure you know. There's the concert hall, and you could change the lyrics and do things.
My favourite aspect that is.
And obviously, for those of you who don't know, there's like a Vocaloid kind of thing with all the Miis where they all have an actual voice and they say words. So you can get them to say anything in these songs. And there's a lot of very inappropriate things on the internet.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really funny. Like I've made for my Xenoblade characters,
Yeah.
I made a few of them sing, and they all sing about like stuff from the game. I made them do like quotes from the games and things. And it's like,
oh wow,
there's so much good. It's like it's really fun to do that kind of thing. Be creative.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah,
super creative.
Yeah, I don't know many games that you can make your own songs with.
And bands, you can create your own bands.
Yeah, and whole groups and everything. Yeah, it's great. There's a lot to it.
Call them like the kings of the land or something. I don't know. You can make your own famous band that are famous to that island.
Yeah, me and you should be a duo. I'll try and make us a duo.
Yeah. Because that's what we're hoping to do, aren't we? We get you on
of course.
the bass, and then I forget now if you can get people on the instruments. I think it's just assigned to you, but it's, but it's really good.
Cool.
Really cool. Yeah.
I wanted to actually include one of the like songs fan created in my top 3 for jokes, but then they're all like phone recordings of the DS on YouTube, so the audio quality is poor. So I didn't pick it, but I recommend anyone who's interested, like get the game for yourself, try it out, or just go on YouTube and try and like look at some of the silly ones. It's really fun.
There's so many memes as well made of the game. Like I was scrolling through Instagram just the other day on Reels, and someone had used the reference to Tomodachi Life in like a modern Instagram TikTok reel. Like people just use like it's so well known that it's memed. It's just exactly. It's really good, really good.
Yeah, I really love the soundtrack. So we should get into it. But you've pretty much said, but I wanted to just ask, what are your thoughts on the game?
Wow. I mean, I kind of said most of what I think of the game. It's brilliant. Thoughts on the game? It constantly surprises me. That's what I'd like to say. It never leaves you hanging. It never gets you bored. Just like Animal Crossing kind of never gets you bored. There's just constantly things to do. And it's just never sort of ending. There's not really an end to it. You can collect everything, get everything, but it's still not finished. That's what the game sort of is. But it gives you a wider range, if you like, with simulation games, and I enjoy it way more than any. I personally, I don't like The Sims. I think it's just, bleh. But I think Tomodachi Life tops it for me. It's just simple. It's simple. It's easy to figure out things. But as soon as you get around, it's just
Yeah.
it's just really nice.
It's really, and like I said earlier, it's very charming. It
It
has a
is.
charm that other simulation games don't have. Like Animal
Yeah.
Crossing has its own relaxing kind of, oh yeah, I'll play this in my
Its
downtime
own
kind of
charm.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then Tomodachi Life nothing else is like it.
Its
Like it
humour
really is
is
just
my sort of
that
humour.
unique. It's great.
It's got a very British humour though. I don't know why, but it's got a British humour about it.
I mean, yeah,
It's like a sarcastic sort of fun.
a lot of things are, very sarcastic, which is weird. It's a Japanese game, obviously.
Yeah. It's
But I
pretty
guess
well done.
localization might have changed some things. I don't know. But yeah, I mean,
Yes.
really,
Yes.
localization was for the US rather than UK. I don't know. It could just
Mm.
be that they have a good sense of humor, you know.
Exactly.
As
They
do
probably
we,
do.
yeah.
Well, to be fair, I was going to say though, kind of like a closing point for my thought on the game is that play on a bad day. Play it when you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
It will cheer you up. Like it will. I remember like I would always play Tomodachi Life in and out. But I remember like if I was having a bad day, like something bad had happened, I'd just go and open my island up and see what everyone was doing. And it was just funny. I'd make the people in the way it's built and but it's put together, programmed. It's built to make you smile and laugh. To see your friends, family, anybody you want to make
Yeah,
anything.
you can make anyone.
Literally anyone.
Yeah, and there's plenty of like QR codes online to like pre-made
Yeah.
ones as well, which makes it easier.
I made Jeremy Wade. Do you know Jeremy Wade from Monster? Oh, what's it called? River Monsters.
I don't know.
You don't know River Monsters?
No.
Oh, you've not lived. You've not lived. Basically, he's like he's this guy that goes and catches these big ass fish in the rivers, like massive, like monstrous fish in like rivers that you would never see. It's called. Go and check. I'm surprised you've not known this.
Okay.
But yeah, Jeremy Wade. He's a celebrity in that field, you could say, and he's always been on TV. And he's when I was growing up, I watched him. And still do rewatch him. I think he still does series now and again, but he's kind of retired. But I made him, and like me and him, best friends. Not best friends, but me and him are like good friends in the game. It's like so funny. Yeah. It's just so funny to see it all play out.
I think that is interesting. I've got a mix of like Xenoblade, Ace Attorney. I made Morgan Freeman for no reason. I just felt like making
Morgan Freeman. Wow.
And then we've got like real life people that I know. And I told you before, like me and you, our characters, when I made you, we became best friends, which was interesting.
That's really interesting. That is good though, as we are best friends. Of course we are.
Also today, what was interesting, one of the Ace Attorney characters fell in love with one of the villains from Xenoblade.
Oh,
and he just said yes. So it was like, cool. I guess I think of it now.
Yes.
So,
no questions asked. Get married.
The thing is, they weren't even friends, which is really weird. She was like, I have feelings for Mumcar. When did this come from? And then I was like, you're totally going to get rejected and be depressed. I'm going to help you. And he's like, sure. I'm like, what? That's it. Like, yeah, like, cool.
That makes you laugh though, because like, just imagine like you're working at the shoe shop. Just imagine this is real life, and someone comes up to you, like, marry my daughter, like, and you're like, yes,
yes,
I'll do it. Sometimes you just have to say yes.
Felt very straight. I mean, I did set it up properly for the character, but I didn't think it would work. Yeah, cool. I guess
that's really good then. It's really fun.
It's a great game. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I think we've said a lot on the game. Are you ready to hit us up with your first favorite track from the OCT?
I am. Yeah.
Right, let's go. What's your first track?
All right, track number 1. This is a track called Mii Maker.
Indeed.
So obviously from the name, it's the theme that plays when you're making a Mii or when you're getting a Mii from a QR code, whatever it may be, editing a Mii, any of that. You hear this track. So we're starting it off with a theme that anyone who's played the game will have heard, obviously. But I feel like probably not many people will go back to listen to it in their own time.
Yeah.
But they should, because overall, the track, pretty relaxing. There's a nice mix of instruments. The audio quality is clean as well. Very nice mixing for the 3DS era. For this kind of game. Nice mixing. Unique combinations all over the soundtrack, so get used to it. I think it's great. Very positive vibes, catchy melodies. It doesn't get old, which is obviously brilliant because you'll be hearing it for extended periods of time. The harmonies between the bass line and the keys is really nice. The pizzicato strings in the background and the percussion, drums included. It all pulls the piece together. And I feel like all these little the additions and all these extra things that they put into just like an individual song. It shows the love and care that went into each track and the soundtrack as a whole. They really put a lot of effort into it. And although overall it's a pretty simple, like maybe it sounds simple, but it's much more complicated. And it's just it's vibes, man. It's so good.
Yeah, first listen to this, I was interested as to why you picked it in your top 3, because I was like, it's quite, at first, this is what made me think. I was like, it's nice, it's chill. That's what I like about it. It's chill. It's something to put on in the background. It's like if you go on YouTube and type in Nintendo musics to fill the void, Nintendo music songs to fill the void, that's going to be in there. It's just chill. Put it in the background. Yeah, it's just it's basically filler music, right, to fill the void of making while you're making the Mii. It's kind of got a boppy sort of happy sort of tune to it. Nothing really bad to say. Nothing bad about it or anything. It's just an interesting tune. I was interested at first to see why you chose it in, of course, your top 3. But then, of course, now you've explained about, and now I think about it, it's actually very well put together. So what I'm saying is that it's a good thing you've chosen this and actually brought attention to it, because actually a lot of us would just pass over that track and be like, oh, yeah, it's nice and just filler music. But if we actually stop and take a second to actually appreciate how this was produced and made, then it really does, bring a sort of new level of respect to this sort of music track.
Yeah.
And I honestly do agree with you now thinking about it. It is really well put together, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it has. I think it also kind of encapsulates that Tomodachi Life sound. Like if you hear this and you haven't played the game before, and then you go and play the game, you'll hear a lot like this with the general kind of themes, and you'll be like, oh yeah, this is like a kind of a staple for that's what
it's
Tomodachi
almost
Life
like a
feels
leitmotif, but is it? No, it's not. It's just
not this one particularly, but there are a lot of
similar.
It sounds similar style. It's not the actual like track itself, but like you just feel like, oh yeah, this is Tomodachi Life, that kind of thing.
And again, I think sorry, carry on.
No, I was just gonna say this track also, like the more you listen, like as in the further along it goes into the song, it actually gets more complicated and it gets better, and there are more interesting things going on. So although it's it starts off nice, ends off nice, and it gets nicer in between. So I think it's worth listening to the whole thing if you have the time.
Exactly. Why I think this is very talented as well is because it's one of those tracks where I'm like, if you listen to it and it's like almost like what's his name? The guy who did Animal Crossing tracks.
The composer.
The composer,
Kazumi Totaka.
Kazumi Totaka, yeah. He that had the Mii channel and on the sort of background music that produced. So it's like boom, boom, boom. It's not even music. It's boopy boppy, as I mentioned. It's just nothing. It's nothing. It's void filling music, which is. But if you listen to it, it's like if you actually are. So let's just scenario. Let's say a scenario. Let's say you work for Nintendo, right? Elijah, you're wearing your suit, you've got £1 billion in the bank, you are rich, you work for Nintendo. Someone comes up to you and they say, right, I want you to make some filler music for this game, Tomodachi Life. It's got to be sort of, we want it similar to the Mii channel, but not. We want it a bit more, we want it a bit more enthusiastic, and they want a particular style. It's going to be quite hard to do. So when I actually listen to this, I'm like, that is really talented, if you think about it, because it's not exactly got too much of a it's not like a song. It's like a filler tune. Again, it's like
there's
a filler
melody,
tune.
but it's
you
can tell it is background music. Yeah,
it's background music, exactly. But it's exactly. It's just really well put. I can't really describe it. It's just very well. I think it's very hard to produce that sort of music, because I immediately think, oh, it's got to be a song. There's got to be an intro, an outro, a climax. It's got to be all this sort of stuff. That's my natural musical mind thinking there about just basic songs in general, and it's got to be a theme and a genre. I can't really put together a filler song. I'm really rubbish at that. I need to really have practice and kind of study that area of music. And to be fair, they've kind of nailed it on the head with this one.
I think definitely. I just was looking at the composers, Daisuke Matsuoka and Asuka Ito. Those are the two composers of this game. I think they've done a really, really good job. I think it's it's definitely harder than it seems to make music when given a scenario, especially I feel like that. It's obviously a lot of people might think, oh, it's just like, again, they might pawn it off as like, oh yeah, it's just video game music. But you listen to it properly and you go, these are real musicians, real composers.
100%.
Put their heart and soul into making this game and making the soundtrack for it and pulling it all together. Obviously, the soundtrack really brings it to life. Yeah, the quirkiness of the game itself would carry it, but without the soundtrack, they wouldn't be the same. So
Exactly. It's 100%. I'm just like thinking about the composers, like going to the office in Japan, working hard on those songs day in, day out. And it's like, I guess those songs are always going to be very special to them because they're always going to know the memories they made with their co-workers, their
yeah, of
hard
course, yeah.
work putting those songs together, releasing it, the game release, how well the game is done, and now it's 2023. It's like, of course, we all appreciate the song, we all appreciate the game, but no one's going to appreciate those songs more than the composers themselves. That's what I always think, which again is very sad.
Nobody's gonna
Yeah, why?
appreciate the composers, which is why we should
Mm.
push them and give them. That's why this whole kind of thing
100%.
exists.
Exactly. That's why we
We're
put the
also here
series
to,
together. Yeah.
yeah, we're also here to like high five the composers and go, well done, you
Yeah.
deserve appreciation. But obviously, you're not going to hear this, but we're still
Yeah.
giving them that praise that they deserve.
Yeah. So the people actually, so even though basically, their hard work isn't going to waste, we're giving them credit. We're giving them credit. That's all the gamers out there that love these games. And again, it's my point I was going to say originally that it's sad that, again, bringing back the sad point that Nintendo decides to disband and they're one of their great consoles, the 3DS. And I think the 3DS, now I've got a Switch and I've played it for a couple of weeks. I'm like, man, the 3DS has some things that the Switch does not have at all. Like, let me let you in on something here, Elijah. You can't get a theme on the Switch. You
Yeah,
can't.
I know. There's no
Yeah.
themes. There's no.
Like,
Also, just
yeah.
simple things like music. Like
There's no
how the
music.
Wii had
It's
music.
silent.
The Switch, it's like general, like a generic modern console kind of thing.
PlayStation, yeah, it's like a PlayStation because, and also the Mii thing, like in the 3DS, it's all exciting that they're dancing around, when they're playing a game
They
or they
pretty
come
much
online.
killed Mii's on the Switch.
There's no Mii's. It's just like you can be anything you want, and it's just like generic. It's like it's like, nothing there.
Yeah,
There's no music. There's no online
yeah.
notification.
There's
Like
obviously effort still went into the Switch,
of course
but
it
there's
did.
not that same character and uniqueness. Like it's almost like they purposefully stripped it back, and they didn't want it anymore because they wanted to be modern and like all the other consoles. But we love Nintendo because they had that special, like something special.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. Well, this is why I actually am thinking of composing a video comparing my Nintendo 2DS to my Switch OLED, and I'm gonna.
That'll be good. Yeah,
that
yeah.
will be good, wouldn't it? You think about
After
it.
the unboxing video, and once
Yeah,
that's done, you should definitely do that. Yeah.
because there are some big differences that you should still play on 3DS. Like I picked up my 3DS last night. That's I still want to play my 3DS, which shows that 3DS is still an amazing console. But anyway, I digress. It's just again, it's just again, I was saying the point is it's sad that Nintendo disbanded all these games because back in the day, time travel all those years ago when we were 13, 11 years old, when 3DS was big, these composers, they worked hard on these songs, and now it's just almost forgotten about. It's just, it's very sad. I mean, Tomodachi Life is one of the few games where they are still growing to this day. People are still buying the copies, people are still playing the games for Tomodachi Life because it's just nothing like it before. Yeah. Well,
I'm just thinking about the time. Like, I would have been 10 years old. You would have been 9. It's like, damn, so long ago.
That was long. That was like 10 years, a decade ago now.
Almost,
over a decade, almost a decade now. Wow, where did time go? Why am I 18? Stop.
You're in the real world now. Come on.
Real world now, adult. Yeah. Taxes, car driving, money.
Tax, yeah.
Bloody hell.
Well, probably not you, actually. Don't mind. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
Anyway, are you ready to give this track a listen?
Yeah.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's give the track which is hyped up for the past 10 minutes, Mii Maker, a listen. And that was Mii Maker for Tomodachi Life. Elijah, on to your second track and why?
Okay, my second track is called Dock List.
Love this one. Love
it.
it.
This is your favourite, isn't it?
It is.
So this is one of the many relaxing short loops that kind of play for a menu and for other things like that. By the way, random point. there's roughly 17, I counted, probably more, different genres used in the OST overall. You can count them yourself if you have time. Yeah, probably more than that. So although I'm like, I'm showing the relaxing kind of Nintendo music, just know there's way more tucked away here. There's so many different genres, and like variety behind all of this.
Yeah.
I wanted to show this one because it is a personal favorite, and clearly you enjoy it as well, so that's good.
Oh yeah.
Acoustic guitars, a simple kind of hand percussion, and an overall feeling, I guess. It puts me at ease. There's not much to say on this one. It's just a personal favorite that I wanted to show off. There's also a slow jazz piece called Fancy Restaurant. That was originally going to be my number 2, but it was too slow for the teaser. So I thought, nah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good jazz piece. But anyway, this one, very relaxing, very nice, very calm. There's really not much to say about it. It's just nice to listen to.
Yeah. To be fair, the funny thing is, of course, I know most of, not all 200 plus probably. I've not discovered all of them, but I know literally at least half of, if not more, of all the music in the game, having played it for 5 years, literally 5 years. And I've got to say that this is a song I forgot about. And so when Elijah sent it to me, I clicked play. I was like hit by a wave of nostalgia. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this song. And not only is it actually a really, really nice, pleasing to listen to guitar tune, it was also, I think, the wave of nostalgia just hit me. I was just like standing there stunned in my wave of nostalgia, being like, "Wow, I was playing this when I was 15 years old, and wow!" And and again, it's a very pleasing tune to listen to, and it's kind of got a sad sort of. I don't know how to describe this tune. It's lovely, but it's like it's got. I like this about most songs. I think if most people they start to get to know my music style, I like a lot of ending themes. I like a lot of that
the
emotion,
reminiscent.
The
Kind
reminiscent
of themes, yeah.
I do.
And you also like acoustic guitar, I noticed.
I do. I do. You get to know me. I love my groove and I love my ending reminiscent emotion. I love that emotion. Strong.
Yeah.
I love that. That's why I love Xenoblade. They've got some really emotional tracks, and yeah. So I think this was. Yeah, I love the reminiscent sort of emotion. There's almost like an ending to this, and there's not. It's just a little thing that plays in the background. But it's one of those things where if I was playing the game and I came across this in the dock. On the dock list, which does come up if you're going on the dot list, hence the name, which I probably should share with you, Elijah, later on because we can play on it over online.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah.
You need to. You need my stuff. But anyway, I digress again. It's one of those tracks I would stop and be like, let's just sit here and listen to this. There's many times where I've been playing my DS, my 3DS, my Switch, whatever it is, and I've been like, this music just makes me feel so good. I'm just going to stop the game and listen to this. It's that sort of music, and it's one of those music that you just feel really good listening to, and I would personally stop and just take it in. Yeah. So, you ready to give it a listen?
I am, yeah.
And that was Dock List from Tomodachi Life.
Very relaxing, very nice.
Very relaxing, extremely nice. I thought before you move on to a track 3, Elijah, I thought I'd drop in a little fact here for people that don't know their Japanese very well. Tomodachi, I'm pretty sure you may know this already, Elijah, but do you know what the word Tomodachi means?
I knew it and I forgot it, so please tell me.
Okay. Well, Tomodachi is Japanese for friend. Friend. Yeah.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a Tomodachi. I say it's Tomodachi. That's how you say it in Japanese. And if I was saying like, showing off my Japanese skills here, I don't know if it's quite rusty on the podcast right now, but Tomodachi no Elijah-san. Tomodachi is Elijah is my friend. Elijah no Tomodachi-san. Yeah, so yeah, I'm saying you're basically my friend. I may have got that wrong. I'm very sorry for those of you Japanese listening to this because we do have an audience from Japan. I'm very sorry. Please correct me if I was wrong there. I'm still learning. But yeah, it's quite interesting to know. It's called, basically, English translation literally is friend life. That's what it means, friend life.
Right, yeah.
So that's quite interesting. Friend's life. So yeah, thought I'd just drop that little fact. But yeah, anyway, what's your third track, Elijah?
Okay, pista número 3. The
Right.
third track, Town Hall.
Right.
So this one,
Yes.
it's a bop. I love the old kind of.
Mm.
You like 80s music, don't you?
Oh yeah, I love 80s
Yeah,
music.
I
Don't get
like.
me started.
Yeah, I like the old synth sounds that they had, and like synth bass line kind of stuff. That stuff, I love that. All the small additions that bring this one together. Like for some reason, there's a baritone saxophone pan to your right ear, and I'm just thinking, why? But then I thought, because Tomodachi Life says that it needs baritone saxophone, like why not? I
Why
just think it's
not?
one of those weird instrumentation things. I said it earlier, get used to it,
I
where you will
like it
hear it.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. It's really unique,
That's my
really
favourite
random.
part of the song, to be
Yeah,
fair.
it's very random, but very good.
Yeah.
I know it's a good addition.
Exactly.
Yeah, I said earlier, like get used to it because a lot of these tracks, they do have like kind of. It's like the composer made a song, and they thought, okay, I'm going to spin a wheel and add this instrument to it, and they just did it,
Yeah.
and it worked.
Spin the wheel.
Yeah, because really
Oh,
like
baritone saxophone.
very specific low end saxophone on a track full of synths, and that's like really like it sounds like a I don't know a happy J-pop kind of thing. I don't know.
It was a bit J-poppy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think, or K-pop. I don't know, but it's this is what I wrote down. Funny enough, this is the fun thing. I really like this song. Really like it. But the intro I find the intro a bit cheesy at first.
Yeah.
Just as a general song. But don't stop me there. Don't clip me up there. Literally, then as you start to get into it, then it gets good. So
Yeah.
I think the first bit is like it's a bit annoying, but then again I'm like, oh, okay, there we go. There's my good stuff.
It does
The
go, yeah.
80s
It's like it starts
saxophone,
off,
yeah.
and maybe you think if this keeps going this way, I'm not gonna enjoy it.
Yeah,
But then it moves on right as you start to think that. So you're like, oh,
exactly.
okay.
It keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And the groovy stuff comes in, the saxophone. I'm like, yeah, that's all right. Actually, I was going to say to you, I was surprised why you didn't pick this song actually in your. It's the shop theme, the clothes shop theme. I really like that song. It's just really, it's a vibe. It's a
I
groove.
mean, yeah. The thing is, I was surprisingly enough, I was watching a YouTube video a couple of days ago, and I heard that they usually would use random Nintendo music, but they used the shop theme from the clothes shop from Tomodachi Life in their just video about random things. They just included it in the background. Like, hey, I
so
recognize this.
but like Ludwig basically, he just includes Animal Crossing New Leaf stuff in his Twitch streams.
Yeah, it was a YouTuber called Alpharad. But the thing is, it wasn't like he used Tomodachi Life music in like any more of it. It was just that one song for all of like 20 seconds that he used it, and that was it. I thought, oh, I recognize that. That's cool. It's cool. Those are good tracks. Like all the shop themes. I like the interior design shop as well. That's really groovy in my bad.
It is.
It's
I
got a
can't
nice
agree. I
bass line.
can't disagree. I mean, personally, if I was you, I would definitely have replaced this one with the shop theme. But that's just my opinion. I still think this is.
I think this one is just because it's also a personal favorite. Like I really like this one.
Yes, personal favorites. Yeah, I mean, that's a bit like me. I was going to say the point with using music, old favorite music in videos. In my videos on YouTube, which I've done lately, my latest video is on Tears of the Kingdom, and I used the eShop music from the old eShop. If you listen carefully, I use the old eShop music in the background, which is quite interesting, and I'm using it so people that are avid Nintendo fans, they'll be like, hang on a second, in the background there, he's using that, and I like it when YouTubers do that. So therefore, I'm remaking that in my own sort of way, and I'm hoping to include a lot more Nintendo tracks. Hopefully, all fingers crossed that Nintendo don't shoot me with a gun.
That's why whenever I've made videos talking and things, I'd always use my own music in the background just in case in the future. Because
I took the risk. I took the risk.
Yeah, I mean, really, like old Nintendo music like that. Actually, I can't. Nintendo are so random with their takedowns. Like, I showed you a video before.
Yeah,
there was a really nice video. When it had a little community going where they were talking about how their lives are going, and they come back to it, and it got taken down because I had like a 1990 something DK song on it.
What?
Donkey Kong, and it got taken down for that reason. I'm thinking, that's so old. Why have you suddenly taken it down?
What's going on, Nintendo?
Exactly. And then sometimes
not surprised.
You could upload a video of the most modern Nintendo music, and they wouldn't care. And they're just so random.
Well, this is to be fair, guys. This series is a risk, a big risk that we're doing. Like, you think about it, we could get struck any moment. We are using tracks from old and new. So if Nintendo strike us, I'm probably gonna go on Twitter for about 5 weeks and just make sure they hear how angry I am, and I might use a few.
Okay. Realistically, though, they do have the right to do so.
They do have the right, but I've still included all their links in the description.
Yeah, true.
This is about no, hang on. They've got no right to do that. If they did that, that's out of order.
It is like they do like to shoot their own fans. Like honestly, yeah, because we are like promoting their stuff. But they view it as you're stealing. It's like, oh, we're quite literally helping your. Yeah, we are advertising your company for you.
We are working for you.
Yeah, really. It's like, damn.
Yeah, we're basically
day in, day out. We are working for you, really.
Yeah, the amount of effort I've actually put into this podcast is absolutely insane. Not to complain, like, it's been a journey up and down, definitely stressful at times, and it's just sad Nintendo fails to see that I'm actually, in one sense, I'm working for them for free. So yeah.
But that's just Nintendo. Anyway, back to the music. It's great. Yeah, we love it. I enjoy listening to it like for ages and ages. For me, again, personal favorite. It always draws me in. It gets better as it goes along. You said that as well, which is some of my notes. I think it's it's a good track overall.
A bop.
A bop. Yeah. Gets better as it goes along. So make sure to listen to the whole thing, or just at least half of it. You know, whatever. More than the teaser. I enjoy the song structure as well. Something that may not come across as like complicated, like at first listen, but these tracks are very clever. Well structured, instrumentation, like I said, really random but really nice.
It works.
And overall, the melodies are good. The melodies, the harmonies, everything coming all together. It's really good it's really just enjoyable to listen to overall.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
It's great.
100%.
I haven't got much to say about it. I just like it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's funny because it's the same with my choice, which we're going to move on to soon. I have literally not got much to say on each track. I've kind of got mental notes more than written notes.
Right.
But anyway, you anything else to say on this track, or are you ready to give it a good play?
Let's just give it a listen. Yeah.
Hit that music, Elijah. That was Town Hall, your track 3. Yeah. And anyway, Elijah, have you got an overall to say of the game, or have you kind of already? Because we kind of been doing it in the beginning.
We've spoken a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
We said plenty, I think.
Yeah.
It is one of a kind. I feel like this kind of game is one of a kind.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack fits it very well.
Exactly, I think.
Very
perfect.
Very just positive overall. I like that. It's about time we had something that is just purely positive. You know, although there is obviously emotional, depressing pieces as well. I'm focusing on the positives because I feel like being positive today. So.
Yeah, exactly. Good. We need more positivity in Britain. I think that we've got a massive stereotype for being the grumpiest people on earth, and that's probably correct. And it's just true. It's genetics.
It's actually quite funny. I was talking to a friend, a Canadian friend,
right?
And they sent them like. Coincidentally, I was complaining about the weather just like to someone else, and then they sent a meme where they wouldn't even know what I was talking about. They just sent the meme.
Right.
And I was talking about British people complaining about the weather. It was like, as a guy trying to do a British accent.
Yeah.
And he, you know, the stereotypical British thing is to complain about the weather and to talk about this. And I was like, I'm actually right now talking about the weather. Like, damn it. Yeah.
When I'm talking to our American friends, they're always so happy. I don't understand. Like, where do Americans get their happiness from? Like, I've got loads of Americans. We're like 50% of you guys are American listening to this, and you're like, you're so happy. Where?
I feel like a weird thing I've discovered. Australians are like they're like British people, but they're happy all the time.
Yes,
it's great.
I know. I've heard that.
Like I want to go to. I've heard them like obviously the many dangerous animals and insects and things. I'd love to go to Australia because it is just Britain.
I will go to Australia.
And sunnier.
It's sunnier, happier, and everyone's just loving life there. And in Britain, it's just Australia, but wrong and sad and extreme.
Obviously, the reason Australia has our kind of sense of humor and our slang and things. It's because we sent our prisoners over there and we started it.
Exactly. I think
But
they are kind of
somehow
British in a
it's
way, but yeah,
overtaken us. They've
they
become
have.
happier, better
Superior.
than Britain. Yeah, superior. Yeah.
Thank the shout out to all our Australian listeners out there. And it's funny because a lot of people
down under, we love you.
I associate with you guys Australians because me being a Cockney accent, I think a lot of you think that I sound Australian when I'm not. So stop it, everyone. I'm not Australian, but I don't mind being called Australian. It's quite funny, Elijah, isn't it? That Cockney accents like
I feel
me.
like just non-Australians would call that Australian because they're like they just don't know the difference between accents.
They do sound
that's
similar.
Like me with American accents, you know.
Yeah.
It's like I can't tell the difference between most American accents. How am I?
Up here in the Midlands, they're so dumb. I'm sorry, everyone up in the Midlands. I live in the Midlands, and they're so dumb. Up here in Birmingham and Leicester, it's just they're like, "Oh, are you from Australia? Are you
Brummy accent?
Are you from Australia?" I'm like, "No, I'm from London." Like, oh, but you sound Australian. I was like, no, I'm from East London, mate. That's why I sound Australian. No.
The thing is, like, I feel like that's not even so bad compared to being called posh by everyone who ever hears you.
Yes, I get that as
well.
Anyone
I get from both. Up north in England, everyone, I get it. I can sometimes speak well. I'm not posh. I'm far from posh.
I get that, man.
I get that. Go further down south. I will show you a posh person, and you will look at me and then go, "Damn, okay, sorry."
Oh man.
But for the people up north, they just go, "You sound so posh. Are you like
a
royal family member or something?" Have you heard
in my
I don't sound anything.
Being a fellow Londoner, you are probably more posh than me. But I don't you've got more of a refined accent. When I'm not doing on the podcast, I'm actually pretty professional. I try and change my accent up a bit. But when I'm doing the podcast, I just take the wheels off, and I'm a proper Cockney, really. And the funny thing about that is that's probably the most downtown accent ever you'll get in London. My accent is looked down upon big time by the world because it's just very working class. It's like, all right, man, have a beer, go and get a house, you know. It's just like it's kind of, you know, up the apples and pears, down the apples and pears, mince pies for eyes. Bottle and stopper means copper. You got all these, you know, rhymes. It's just very working class, you know. And what you find is people up in the north, they're like, "Oh, you're so posh." I'm like, "God, no."
Yeah. They're just that scummy that they think we're not kidding.
Oh man, they're peasants up here, you know. I'm sorry, but there is going to be a constant war between me and them.
Even though like you're not, like you aren't a Cockney, but you are you have
half. I'm say half. Yeah.
Like you didn't grow up in East London, but you are just in East London somehow. Like it's one of the mysteries of life. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I think, like we said before, I'm just generic. Like I'm everything from London.
Just Londoner.
Just Londoner. Yeah. They go to like. I get that you think I sound a bit posh, but again, I'll take you around London. Keep your ears out. Everyone either sounds like quite similar to me. I feel like.
I actually think that because being a fellow, you know, East Londoner, you could say. Even though I was born in London, I just didn't grow up there for long. I've just been around my East London parents. Well, mum's East London, and that's who I spent the most time with. And
funnily enough, your mum, isn't her parents like Welsh? And she's like
exactly
not even pure.
She grew up in East London, though, so she was growing up.
But it was weird because like we didn't. My mum was telling me like she never understood where your mum got her accent from because of her parents sounding so different, and like the people around her as well. Not many of them were very Cockney, but she just somehow developed like it's both of you.
Yeah,
you have some weird ability.
I've been born with the Cockney.
The world just decided you are Cockney now.
It's funny. I'm like, I've got. If I go proper Cockney like now, I've got friends up in college, and they come up to me and they're like. They are Cockney. I've got like 2 Cockney friends.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And we all call each other Geezer. It's so fun. It's like, "Oh, Geezer." I'm like, "Yeah, Geezer. How's it going? Mate?" And I was like, yeah. All right, man. How you doing? I got a new house last week. Yeah, how's the brother? How's the mother? It's lovely. It's just lovely to have that Cockney connection. Because it's just rare. But I do, as a fellow East Londoner, I do see a bit. I do sometimes see a bit of Cockney in you, here and there, very here and there though. So sometimes it's very hard to notice. You're more of a Londoner.
Of course, I'm not a strong Cockney accent because I didn't grow up with. I mean, I did grow up around Cockneys, but the thing is, it was like
it's very sly. I can't really tell though. You have to listen carefully.
I think it's because I grew up so multicultural around, like everyone in my for example, most of my primary schools, everyone around was like Bangladeshi. So
wow.
I didn't have Cockney accents, obviously.
No.
I had a mix of many people.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, a lot of the time, the most cockney I'll get really is just I won't pronounce my T's and that'll be it. But that's
Yeah.
not really that's just London. So
But do you still say
yeah.
the rhymes like I do? Yesterday I said I went up the apples and pears, and I said yesterday
No,
I was on the
I
on the
have.
yeah. I was also I keep saying dog and bone for phone. It's really bad. I keep saying
I
I'm on the
don't
dog and
use the
bone.
cockney rhyming slang.
I'm a
Um,
true cockney. You know? On the dog and bone.
yeah,
Leave me alone.
I never bother with that kind of stuff. It's not in my vocabulary naturally.
Yeah,
I'm more like unfortunately I have like roadman slang that I'll just pull out of my ass
yeah.
sometimes, and I don't know where it comes from. But I guess growing up around
Yeah. Get me,
like
bro.
it's like I just pull it out, and I'm like, why did I say
uh,
that? When did that come from? And it's
yeah.
very natural, but I'm like, I hate that I just
Well,
said that.
so I got 10 things in my 2-man whip. Is that what you say?
Oh, I hate that stuff. I don't hate it, but I hate that I do it sometimes.
Yeah. I was
Oh,
just oh dear. Anyway, we're getting extremely sidetracked here.
yeah,
Sorry about
extremely
this.
sorry. Anyway, you're very
Sorry.
cockney. I'm very Londoner. We're both.
Yeah. A bit of
Yeah, we're both weirdos.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bit of background for us hosts. But anyway,
Mm.
I think you're ready, Elijah, to hear my choice for this
Oh
week.
yeah, I think the audience are ready as well.
Indeed.
Mm.
I'm super ready.
Mhm.
My choice for this week is Ace Attorney, Apollo Justice. Now, I wanted to do Ace Attorney Justice. You know, Ace Attorney lost. I'm very upset about that. So I'm bringing Ace Attorney to the table again, but another one of the games. Not Phoenix Wright this time. It's Apollo Justice, the only game that was made for him alone.
Yeah.
And this was by far one of the best games I've ever played, ever. I've never had my hand on a Phoenix Wright game, so I can't speak for Phoenix Wright games, but I'm guessing they're probably going to be just as good.
Just as good, if not better.
Yeah, I can imagine so, considering how popular Phoenix Wright is. But
I'm making you play that one day, by the way. It's on the Switch. There's a remaster trilogy on the Switch.
I'm going to get it.
You have no excuses.
Well, I actually have so much stuff. I've got Xenoblade. That's my first go-to game.
Yeah.
So still get the money. Then I've got to play through the entire series. It's going to take me about a year. If not, maybe a bit shorter because I'm quite a fast gamer. I'm probably just a bit of streaming, and then I've got to play No Man's Sky. Roan wants me playing No Man's Sky.
Okay.
It's a bit similar to I think it's made by the same people as Subnautica. It's like the same sort of thing. And then
it's an interesting game. I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I've always seen the gameplay and it's really good. And then I've got to play after No Man's Sky. I've got to play Pokemon. I've got so much stuff to do. But then I will get around to doing the trilogy, and by then I'm hoping to stream it. I'm hoping to stream it, man. So I'll bring it to the audience live.
Let me look something up.
Okay. Go to hit the Google search bar. But yeah, as I say, just while you do that, Apollo Justice is definitely. Anyway, what are you going to look up? I'll explain in a minute.
I was just looking up the price for Xenoblade. It's 40 quid.
Yes, 40 quid
Okay.
Yeah.
I have ideas. Okay.
He has ideas. Oh, interesting. But anyway, Ace Attorney, Apollo Justice. This game is what's it I've written down? Is the soundtrack for this game is extremely unique and by far well put together. The whole Ace Attorney series deserves a win for its extraordinary music and genres, which is why I'm a bit annoyed myself that Elijah didn't get that much votes for this one. Come on, guys, respect it's actually really good. Anyway, Apollo Justice has mastered its music so well to convey all sorts of emotions, including fear, tension, romance, jazz, groove, and much more. Today we are just going to scratch the surface with 3 of my favourite tracks from the OTT. Now, again, you're going to see kind of my taste here coming out in the track. I'm not. There are definitely better tracks in the OTT.
I think you picked well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I picked well myself. I think these are genuinely really nice to hear, pleasing to listen to. And today we were quite short for time, guys. So I was actually really struggling when you're short for time and you're trying to get everything ready for the episode. And when I was into the video, I was like, what on earth do I pick? I definitely had. This track one that I'm about to present to you guys, that was already on the card. That was going to go into this episode no matter what. Not only because of the nostalgia. Yeah, this is my favourite. It's going to be quite funny. I think this is more preference. Ever since I heard it, I was like, I love this thing. I love this tune. And it's stuck with me ever since.
That's interesting. That was the one that I thought, why didn't he replace this for the pursuit theme or for the objection theme or for the ending, like the final ending theme? Like the theme. I thought, that's interesting.
I wanted to include the other two are my favourites, right? But this one is more. I decided not to go too personal this time because it proved wrong on the Pokemon game. You didn't like that, so I decided.
No, it's not that.
Yeah,
Like again, I feel like you
so I
need.
kind of went with just my general sort of
Yeah,
vibe
I feel
this
like you
time.
need a balance of the popular tracks and
Yeah.
the personal tracks. Like,
Yeah, so I included one personal track this time.
yeah.
And then the third one is slightly personal, but I still think it's very much liked.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course the second track is an absolute vibe. We're all gonna love that one. Well, basically, yeah. Let's head straight into it.
Let's get
Basically,
into it. Yeah.
let's get into it. So, for my first track, I've chosen Trucy's theme, "Child of Magic." Now, Trucy is like the second to main protagonist in the game.
Yeah, the sidekick.
It's the sidekick. She's the cute little girl sidekick who's a magician, and she does this like she does magic tricks and stuff. And she's one of my favorite characters personally. There was times where I found her a bit annoying, personally, but she grew on me. And I was like, she's pretty good. She's pretty good, I guess. Of course, my favorite character is, and I've lost his name. What's that guy who plays the? Yes, Gladiator something. Glavier. No, I know him.
Yeah, Clavier Gavin. Yeah.
I can't say his name. Clavier something. Yes, Gavin. Clavier Gavin. He's my favourite. He's my favourite. He's just very chill, groovy, smart, cocky dude. And I love him. He's just one of my favourite characters. And I was enjoying working through the case where there was a murder on stage at his concert. And anyway, I'm kind of digressing to my favourite character, Trucy. Back to Trucy. She's so she's kind of an innocent little girl, basically. And Child of Magic is basically just it's Child of Magic, just kind of innocent. The title there is innocent. It's got an innocence to it, and the track has got an innocence to it. But it's kind of like a happy and hopeful, upbeat melody, but it's got a groovy bass line to it, and that's the bit I really like. Being a bass guitarist, I think this is what drew this track out for me. Not really the melody. The melody was awesome. It was lovely. It was good. Nothing bad to say about the melody, but the bass line stood out for me to the point where I'm going to play this now. I'm not going to play this now. I'll rip out the bass. I'm now going to play it for you. But surprise bass. But I actually have mastered this bass line on the bass. I have. Nice. I need to practice it a bit more to show it to you, Elijah. But I used to and did play this on the bass line, and it is pretty hard. It's pretty fast paced. It's like ding ding ding. I can't think of it off by hand.
This is why we got to do that. Album together.
We've got to do the album, man. We've got
Ace Attorney cover album. Yeah.
Can we please remake this, please, man? Because I can play the bass for this.
Okay,
and it's got a bit of slap in there, which is it's very hard to listen to, but you can play it with your fingers if you don't want to do slap. And the bass line alone is very. It feels really nice, and it feels it's got a reminiscent thing to the bass. If you listen to the bass line alone and not the melody, it's got a reminiscence to it that I can't explain. Again, I love reminiscent music, and then you put that together with the melody, it just sounds really good. It's the bass line again. The bass line has drawn this theme out to me, but it was to the point where in the game I would always look forward to this theme to come on to. So when the theme would pop on, I'd be like grooving. I'd be like, "This is good. This is great. I'm grooving to this theme." And I would like leave it. I would just leave the entire case to just listen to the theme. And then I typed it up on YouTube and was trying to find the song. And then I added it to my Spotify playlist. So there you go. It's more personal preference to me, but I've done enough yapping around on this track. What do you think about this one?
To contradict what you're saying, there's nothing wrong with this. I just personally don't like it that much.
Oh, here he goes again.
And the thing is, that's all I wrote, because honestly, there really just isn't anything wrong with it. It's not a bad track. I just don't like it. It's as simple as that.
That's fair though. That's fair.
It's just not my
preference.
Not my cup of tea. That's it.
It's preference though, isn't it? I understand that. To be fair, we have similar music taste, but we also have different music taste, and I think this is where it kind of parts. You sometimes think where some of my stuff is a bit cheesy, and I'm like, no, it feels nice. So I don't know what.
And like for me, I like a lot of like really a lot of weird things, not a very modern jazzy like fusion things, and you're like, what is this? Is this even music?
So I mean, could you develop a bit more on why perhaps you don't like it, or is it just not appealing to you?
It's not appealing. I think it's the sound. So not into like the literal like synth sounds used and things, but just the general sound of it. Maybe it's the melody. I don't know. Maybe it's the vibe overall from it. It's just not for me.
Okay, what about the bass line? The bass line to me is good.
Nothing wrong with the bass. Yeah.
Okay. So if you were to recreate this song, which I'm gonna make you do anyway with me, what would you change it? What would you change about it? Would you make it something somewhat more appealing, perhaps?
Well, I would make it as appealing as I could. But the thing is, this is my opinion. So the thing is, I know people like this track. So when we remaster it, people will still like it. Doesn't matter if I don't like it; people will like it. So that's fine.
Same for you. I'm happy to play the bass to songs that I probably won't like either, but it's part of the album. You got to work together in it. But yeah, okay, I'm interested. I'm interested to hear that. Some people might not perhaps like this. Personally, I love this one. Let's give it a listen. And that was Trucy's theme, Child of Magic. On to my second track. This one is I think it's your favourite, isn't it, Elijah?
Yeah.
Of the three. I've got to say this one, it's really well put together, and it's my favourite in investigation. It's actually pretty hard between two. There's another one I've got the name of that I really enjoyed, and this one tops it though. After listening to both of them, I was like, it's hard, but this one tops it. So this is called Investigation Core. Again, this is kind of similar to Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright. It's hard to work out the original translation because I was kind of doing this last minute. So it's just Investigation Call 2007, guys, I put here for the date. So 2007 is the date of this music track. There's a lot of investigation calls in the Ace Attorney series.
Yeah, you can differentiate them by the date. So like 2004 will be the one for Trials and Tribulations because that game came out in 2004. Yes. 2007 for Apollo Justice because it came out in 2000. You get the idea.
So you get it's 2007. So yeah, it's very important, guys, to mark that's 2007. It's very important. So it's extremely intense and energetic. Now when I put those two together, it's pretty. Tense music can range from all sorts of things to horror, terror, and just putting things on the end of your seat. And then energetic can range to that stuff that makes you move. It could be groove. It could be. This is actually throwing me off. Energetic music. It gets you up. It gets you alert. It sounds good. It still sounds good, but it's like powerful. It's like emotional.
It's like determined as well.
It's determined. It's like that sort of motivational music you put on when you're working out, right?
Yeah.
That's like energetic. So when you combine the two together, you get a really well put together track that gets you tense but energetic. It's like almost like an action, like something needs to be done. I've got to do this. I feel good, but yeah, this is hard to explain actually. It's like there's a tension there. There's a bad situation, but yeah, there's energetic there because it's like a hero. Like you need to sort this out quickly, otherwise it's going to get out of hand. And this is what this track kind of does. And again, this is like one of those tracks. That plays in the investigation, but within the investigation and the courtrooms, I'd like to point out, which was also pointed out last week, that there's a constant change between themes, depending on what the situation is. So if you're in the courtroom, the music tracks change up depending on what the situation is, and that brings the game on a whole new level of life, and just brings the game to life. So I remember I was playing Apollo Justice. It was fun playing the tracks, but it would be dead boring, I think, without the music. It would be fun, I guess, but the music is what kind of makes this the ace. And to be fair, when I was playing the game, the music was always keeping me going. I was like, objection, and the music would change. Like, I was like, yes, I've done it. I've cornered that person. And this is just bringing back lots of memories because I played Apollo Justice all through and loved it, loved the game, and the music pushed the game on a whole new level for me.
Yeah, it's a smart way of indicating progression via the music. Because like you were saying with the objection kind of thing, sometimes you might object to something and provide the wrong evidence or the wrong statement, and then the music won't change, and you go, I got it wrong.
You start again.
And the objection music plays, and you're like, yes, okay, I got it right.
Yeah, and you got it
exactly
right,
what
and the
it is.
music changes. Like, yes, he progressed, and then sometimes like there's one where you corner the subject and they get nervous, and it's like dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like, yes, it's actually,
And
it's
even
like,
simple things like testimony. The first time around on testimony,
yeah.
the music will be slow and then it picks up. So the second time around, you're questioning.
Yeah, and they're all
So,
jumping around. Like, they're very jumpy tracks. Like when I say jumpy, they're like dun 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 dun. I'm trying to think of them in my head. I can't really say them and with my mouth because I'm rubbish at tone putting
but
together.
this one's
Yeah.
really. I love this one. This one's really.
I'm glad
good.
you like this one because we're on the same page here because I absolutely love this one as well. And it was hard to pick between my personal favorite and this one. If the first one wasn't this list, this one would easily be my favorite because it's just. And this one probably is a famous one. Also, I think a lot of people also like this track. Seeing the
I
amount
think
of likes this one got.
anyone who's heard it will like it, but it's not like super well known in the franchise.
Exactly. It's not super well known.
But it's very loved for the people who do know it. Yeah.
And it's going to be available on the Switch now. On the next year, and I'm so happy that I think I'm going to replay the game on the Switch. I genuinely want to do that. I'm sure that you were rejoicing when you heard the news as well, Elijah, to think that the games that you thought are now been long forgotten are now being remastered and put onto the Switch. That's just that's just so fun and good.
I'm glad that they're rectifying their mistake.
Yeah, rectifying their mistake.
Nintendo are rectifying the mistake, and Capcom have realized, oh crap, Nintendo are killing the thing. We need to save our games quickly.
Exactly. So, yeah, they've realized Nintendo are a pretty rubbish company at their organization. So I'm glad that they're doing this now. They kind of it's so stupid though. Like it's all on the 3DS, and they're like, oh quick, it's like a rescue mission to save all the last games that are just drowning in the sea. It's like a analogy. Like, they're all just gone. Quickly grab them, put them on the boat. Say it says there's only a few games being ported now to the Switch, which are no longer on the 3DS because it's stupid because everyone's getting it from the hate shop. But anyway,
the thing is, Apollo Justice, the original one, is on DS, and that's just lost. Like that's
lost. That is lost.
Unless you want to pay over 100 quid on eBay, you're not getting that.
Well, there is a way, Elijah. I know my way. It's just like I'm going to help you out with your Pokemon Black.
Yeah, with a lot of effort though. That's the thing. So it's like,
you can get ports for it, but it's hard. It's hard. So exactly. If you want to pay £100 to get the original copy, which some people like, you can just now play it on the Switch, which is amazing. And I will get it, Elijah, because since I'm getting since you're hopefully going to play Monster Hunters for me, I'm going to play the whole trilogy. I'm actually thinking of streaming it because I want people to actually recognise it, and hopefully by then I have a bit more viewers.
You have 8 Shop, right?
I have a shop.
The 8 Shop.
Yes, I do. I do. Yes.
The Ace Attorney trilogy, the original Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy, is on the 8 Shop.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just so you know.
Just so I know. Okay, I've kept that in mind.
I mean, do you want pixel graphics or smooth graphics? That's the thing.
That's the thing. I want to play it on my big TV screen. That's what I want. I want the objection to come up on my TV screen.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah,
so to be fair,
you can wait then. Yeah, fine. Yeah.
I think I'll wait for the trilogy coming out in October. By then, I'll probably be able to buy it. Because I've got again the OLED. The actual Nintendo Switch OLED has 4K resolution, like on the small little screen, and that's baffled me. Like I'm like playing on Animal Crossing. I'm like, this is like whoa.
Isn't beautiful? Yeah.
It's beautiful, man. Like it's like I was playing Subnautica and I was like, whoa, it's 4K. It's 4K, and it's even got a little fan on the top. It's because it has to like process the 4K, and it's super fast. So anyway, I'm sidetracking, but anyway, would you like to say anything else on the investigation call 2007? I'm kind of said all what I want to say.
Okay. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it because it's perfect, honestly. This is one of my favorite Ace tracks, like from any of the games. Genuinely, it's such a banger. Like it's a personal favorite for me.
Nice.
So I'm glad you picked it.
Yes. Run your approval.
Yeah. It's really, really groovy, obviously, as you know. I like the call and response, like
yes.
And another synth will play further away, kind of mimicking it. That's very nice.
Yes,
slap bass, I love slap bass. The drums are great as well. Lots of tom action, which is really good. The Apollo Justice sound font is also like overall one of my favorites from the series, and you can you really get the feeling of Apollo Justice from like the synth keys in the background. Overall, it's just a really, really good track. I really like it.
Yeah.
The break, also the break before the loop, it kind of slows down I think it's just drums at the end, or it's just silence, either one, and then it builds up again. That's a really good way, I think, of indicating where the loop is, but then also shaking up the track so it doesn't get old. It keeps you alert to it, rather than it just being a simple, a smooth loop. Like, I think it's like one of the rare situations where you want to know where the loop is, because if it just loops endlessly and it was very smooth, you'd be like, oh, I'm kind of getting bored of it. I don't know where it's going anymore. But then having kind of stop, it pulls you out of it for a second, then it pulls it back in again. It's like, that keeps you listening to it for ages. And I think that's good.
It's like an eye of the storm, the quietest, like the middle of the storm is the quietest, and the track quietens down, and then it gets louder. That's really good.
It's a rare case where indicating the loop clearly like this is actually helpful and good.
Yes, many times the loop is important and helpful.
Great track overall. I like it. Yeah,
great. I'm glad you love it, because I love it too. And with that being said, let's give it a listen. Okay, and that was Investigation Core 2007. On to my final and third track. It's literally called We Won the Case, Our Victory. Now, when we talk about reminiscence, this is another reminiscent song. It is, if you think about it. It plays at the end of it plays at the end of when you've won the case. This is one of my favourite old DS ending themes. So actually, when I first played Apollo Justice, I was 12, and I think I was 12 or 13, I don't know. I was playing on my Nintendo DS Lite, because I got it with it was one of my first games I ever got. And I played it on my DS Lite. I was a little boy. And I enjoyed it. As much as I love Professor Layton, this was more. I actually found it more easy, because Professor Layton had some really hardcore puzzles. But
for a kid, Professor Layton is tough, man.
My mum did it for me. Really fair, it is. I never did it. Mum, do this. But Ace, Mum's chopping the potatoes in the kitchen. Like, no, I'm making the dinner. I've got a life. I'm a mother. Go away. Shut up. But basically, I prefer this game. No, I didn't prefer it, but I can't really compare them. Actually, let's not go down that rabbit hole. But we won the case, our victory. It's like it has like a Sunset sort of groove to it. It's really nice, and it's a bit emotional in a way. Again, it's reminiscent, so it's nice and emotional. You know how to feel. It's very nice to hear once you've finished a hard trial. So once you finish a trial, of course, a big, trials take quite, a long time, especially if you're me and you're not that brainy. So I take quite a few. Sometimes trials can sometimes take weeks. I remember it took me weeks to finish this bloody trial because I didn't know what was going on. It was it was one piece of evidence I didn't pick up, and I was like, "What's going on?" And I remember I had a friend around my house who was a massive fan of the series. I think still is. I've lost touch with him. And it was like, oh yeah, you do this, and that. And I was like, what? How are you Mr. Big Brain? And he basically, he did it. Not just like that. And so again, trials, my point is, trials can take a long time. And therefore, it's nice to have rewarding music, rewarding scenes after the trial. And there's rewarding plot twists and things that happen after the stories in Apollo. But he's saying that's how I say it, Apollo, but it's actually Apollo Justice. Apollo Justice, and I always loved this track. I think the main thing that draws me to it, a lot of people might say, yeah, it's all right, but why? Why have you chosen it in the top 3? Well, nostalgia hits me big here. I don't know why, but it's just it stands out to me as one of the biggest nostalgia tracks to me. Out of the whole OCT, this is nostalgia for me. This is just there are a couple of tracks that make me think, oh, this is just those were the days when I played this game. But this one is more apparent. Maybe it's because my younger ears, tuned into this song because they liked it, and they always have done. To the point where now I'm 18 years old, and that was years ago. I'm wow, nostalgia wave. So all that combined just makes this a really nice, pleasant track, I think. Pleasant. And again, I would like to point out, this was made in 2007, so they weren't using real instruments, they were using synthesizers and things. So again, they've done really well from what they've actually achieved. They've achieved something really well with what they've got. And that's hard. Now we've got like full-on studios, bass guitars, everything. The whole orchestra for Nintendo, and of course that's the limit. You've got quite limitless options there, but especially with them being a billion dollar company. But this was back in the day. Nintendo was they were just a general games company, not as big as PlayStation or anything. They were big, but not that big. Made the Nintendo DS, but they had limited resources, and they've done. Man, this is a case where it proves that. Put a bunch of talented people in the room, whack a couple of ideas in front of them. They'll do it. They'll create great stuff. They'll create some great banging tunes for you out of whatever you've got. Musicians, great people. Yeah. Anyway, what have you got to say on this track?
You said quite a good bit on it. I think
it's just a speech. Yeah.
I'm very familiar with it because I've used it in like previous old. I showed you I used to make Ace Attorney trial videos. And I used this one quite a few times for the end of it.
I remember you showed me. Yeah,
it's like one of my favorite kind of end case victory themes, those kind of things. I think it's overall it's well written. It's pleasant to listen to.
Yeah,
this is probably my favorite. I don't know, maybe second favorite of the out of the entire franchise of the victory themes.
Yeah,
I think this one's really good. It's catchy as well. It has that reminiscent feel. And it's positive at the same time. It's not like depressing reminiscent. It's like
it's nice.
We've done at the end of a long road. I guess that kind of.
I'm like
yeah. It's nice. Yeah. Also, it's pretty groovy actually at the same time.
Yeah, the
bass. It's got a bit of a sway to it that you can enjoy. Yeah.
I this is one of the songs I want to. But when we hopefully do an album together, that'll be my first ever music sort of small little YouTube debut, if you like, because I've never done really music producing outside of my private bands, and I'm going into music in 2 years, so it'd be nice to kick off and get my music recognition out there. And I think this bass line is pretty easy to pick up. It's only a couple of chords, but it's a rapid sort of it moves with the music. I do like a good rapid bass pluck of a string. Being a bass guitarist, I've got all sorts of styles that I prefer, and again, the bass line to this is really nice, and as you said, it's like not sad and depressing. It's happy. It's not really. It's very nice. It kind of reflects all the good things in life. So.
Yeah.
But anything else more to say? But I'm ready to give this a listen.
Yeah, I'm ready to know. Yeah.
And that was We Won the Case, Our Victory. Apollo Justice. There we go. Ace Attorney. So, to be fair, again, I think we kind of say the overalls at the beginning, to be fair now. I kind of said what I think of the track at the beginning of this, before I presented it to you. We had a big conversation about that and cockney accents. But to be fair, I think... Yeah, this is it's a hidden gem. It's a hidden gem, and I think a lot of Phoenix Wright music is pushed more, and that's rightfully so because it's genuinely got some really good tracks. But I definitely think we need to stop and appreciate Apollo Justice. He's only got one game in the series, bless him, and he's got some really nice musics in it. And again, as you said, there were different composers for each game. And again, that just proves that there's different talent for each game here in the series of Ace Attorney, the whole sort of world of Ace Attorney. So I definitely think we should bring this to the case here. And that's my overall. And I think we are now ready to move and proceed on to The Clash. Now, I'm very interested this week, Elijah, for the clash because I don't want to compare either one because I want both of them to win. It's really tough because I can't really compare. Because I just think Apollo Justice should win, and then I also think Tomodachi Life should win.
Yeah, I'm kind of voting for both.
Exactly.
I
I'm
think
voting for both
because it's me and because of my I don't know, recent playing the game and listening to the music. I enjoy Tomodachi Life's music a little bit more. Just saying a little bit more.
No, I'm sorry, but do you realise what you've just done? You're the Ace Attorney man.
And I'm not saying I'm saying they're both.
Life.
I'm saying they're both good, but because I'm on the side of Tomodachi Life, I have to vouch for it. You know, I have to say, Tomodachi Life, like, it's more popular. So
But I
it's
agree with
probably
you.
gonna
I
win.
agree with you. It's
So
just
I'm
funny
just
that
saying.
the Ace Attorney man himself is saying that this is a bit more better. He's saying it. He's saying it. But yeah, I personally, this is going to be hard for me because I have to go against my favourite game for the 3DS.
I'm going against my favourite as well.
I know, it's just, this is painful, man. I can't do this.
I'm lying to myself when I say it's better, but I have to.
Okay, right. If I have to say any criticism, then it'll be this. Tomodachi Life isn't. I can't do this. It's got more. It's quite. It's very. I can't do this. I don't know what to say. I'm just genuinely stuck. The music it's different styles, but it's not as. It's more of a humorous style. It's up and down, here and there, like dun dun. It's here and there. It's not exactly. It doesn't really convey emotion that much. It's more of a humorous emotion in Tomodachi Life. It's a different emotion that it conveys.
It's straightforward, yeah.
Yeah, it's straightforward. It's kind of humorous. However, with Ace Attorney, Apollo Justice, they actually convey proper emotions. So you've got actual romance. Yeah, you've got strong themes there. I think that's what you should vote for.
Okay, there's a deeper connection with Ace Attorney.
Yes.
But a lot of the Apollo Justice tracks, like for example, Trucy Ride's theme and things like that, I think they're not as good.
Oh, no. That's funny. I think Trucy Ride is, it's better than. I think that should be in Tomodachi Life. The Trucy Ride theme, yeah, it's great. It's a good, it's a bop. Yeah.
No.
Oh, I guess it's preference there. I guess it's preference. I mean, again, I'm kind of stuck here because again, I would vote for both if there was the option, but I can't, so I have to vote for myself.
The only way I can stab Ace Attorney is by defending Tomodachi Life. So,
yes,
if you ask me, have you got any criticisms? I don't know.
Exactly. I mean, he kind of destroys himself if he does. I've been quite smart here if you think about it. You see how it's like a game of chess in Nintendo Music was at this point. We've made a lot of moves, and now it's the final moves. Have you seen what I've done? I have chosen Ace Attorney, man, and your audience are Ace Attorney fans. So when they see,
but my audience is smaller. Okay, I will say, I've definitely won the votes of my entire audience. As was proven by the vote that we just did for the last one. So, clearly you're going to get the votes again.
But I was thinking.
But I felt like your audience might then, we're trading audiences for this one.
We are trading audience, and your audience is smaller than the podcast audience. But then again, the YouTube audience for my thing is smaller than yours. It's just a massive community of all sorts of people. So interesting stuff. Out of the 8,000 listeners who listen to this series, what will they have to say about this? Guys, Elijah, what do you think? Do you think it's time to leave it up to them, or do you have any last things to say? Because I think it's time to leave it up to them personally.
I think before anyone votes, they should go and listen to Relax, the Trial is Over. My latest Ace Attorney album. It has Apollo Justice tracks, just saying, it has Apollo Justice tracks in it.
Plugging his stuff. Yeah, great. That's great. So as we kind of do the outro, I would like to actually do a bit of a plug for you now, Elijah, because this series has been great. We've got 2 more episodes to go, and then it's finished, sadly. That's the end of Nintendo Music Wars 2023. But I think we should consider doing it next year. What do you think about that?
I think,
make it a yearly series.
If people want it back, then we will bring it back. Yeah.
We will bring it back with a whole new load of games out by then. When next summer, that's a whole new load. So let us know, guys. Do you want to do this again? But guys, don't worry. You've still got 2 more episodes left. And again, Elijah this is his closing season on the JR's Gaming Podcast because he's stopping being my temporary co-host, and next week,
or I guess this
Mm.
releases on Monday, so this week is my send-off, my goodbye,
yes,
farewell episode with Roan and Judah.
we'll break down crying on the mics.
Obviously, I'll be back as a guest.
He'll be back
every now and then. There's a thing in July that we're thinking of doing.
The Arceus debate,
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that I'll be brought back for randomly anyway. So.
Specials and things.
I'll be back. I'm not leaving. I'm just not going to be here all the time now.
You can't hear that calming voice anymore. But,
my voice always breaks all the time.
A lot of people actually, we get so many messages saying that your voice sends them to sleep and it's amazing in ASMR. And I'm like, oh, what about me? I love this cockney guy. And stupid.
You sound like a really good host because you're consistent.
Right.
That's the thing with my voice. It's very inconsistent. I feel like if you listen to a bunch of these episodes, like back to back, you'll notice that one day I might have a really soothing deep voice. The next day, I might have a really raspy deep voce.
After he's been out shouting.
The next one, it could be really like quite high, like obviously still deep, but high deep. At the high end. And I don't like that. I feel like my voice isn't very consistent.
Right.
So
it changes
like
his voice.
Literally, I wake up one day, I speak, and like I sound different today, and then the next day, and then there could be days where I have no voice cracks, and then the next day my body's like, hey, does your throat want to suck today? Yeah, and then it just does it. Like I have no control over anything.
It just sounds like you've got a voice changer in your voice. It's like a voice box voice changer. You've just got one. You've just got one there. I don't know. Thanks for the compliment there. I don't know. I've when I first started podcasting, it was hard because I was just like, I think when everyone starts the YouTube or podcasting, it's a trial and error because you're either good at it or you're not. And when I started out, me and Roan were like awkward. It's like we're talking as if we're being recorded, right? But now I'm like I'm good at. I like this. I've kind of got into the swing of being a host, and I'm interested as I grow as a podcaster to be featured on other podcasters as well, and probably go around and be a host, podcaster. Work for Stack in London or something. Work for Absolute Radio. Should do it, shouldn't I? Now we're going to be playing.
You could actually I used to volunteer at Radio Harrow and. Other radios like that. You can find like a hospital radio or something to volunteer at.
Well, I'm actually
it's a good experience.
I'm actually looking for once my acting career is closed up this autumn. I'm actually looking to get a job. My end goal is Absolute Radio. I want to get to Absolute. Yeah, I want to work for them. I want to work as a radio DJ.
Your show.
Yes.
That's the wrong one. Wait, that's Radio X.
That's Radio X.
Absolute Radio.
That's the BBC Radio. There's so much. There's
Absolute Radio. I'm trying to think. Who's the host?
Pete Donaldson used to work for them, and then you've got his partner, Pete Donaldson's partner. Sarah Champion. She now hosts. Sarah Champion is one of the main Absolute Radio people, right? I'm pretty sure. Sarah Champion.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sarah Champion. Yeah. Dave Berry, that was it. Dave Berry Breakfast Show. That's what.
Dave Berry, yeah.
And Frank Skinner in the evenings as well. Yeah.
Yep. Because I remember. Do you know good old Pete Donaldson?
Probably do. Yeah.
Yeah, he's famous in the podcasting and radio world, and he's Sarah Jane Champion's partner. He also does a podcast with Chris Broad from abroad in Japan.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of Chris Broad's podcast, and I listen to a lot of podcasts. Being a podcaster myself, that's how I kind of get all my tips and tricks. I listen to other podcasts. Honestly,
Christian O'Connell as well. Yeah, he's one.
Yeah. I know a lot of people in this field. It's great. It's great to hear. The radio people. I want to be one of them. Hopefully, one day. So honestly, back to you, Elijah. Yeah, your send-off is next week, so be tuned, guys, for our main episode 55, another small little milestone, 5 episodes from our episode 50. And so Elijah will be joining us again for his send-off, and that'll be fun. We're going to crack out some banter across all stages, I guess, just being silly, all three of us. And then, of course, it'll just be me and Roan for a bit, and then July we have a couple of guests lined up, other YouTubers and stuff. So, yeah, be tuned. A lot of you guys want Beth back on, so don't worry, she's coming back. hopefully for the Arceus debate, and hopefully for another separate episode. And also, a lot of you asked for Matthew, MS Guy, to come back on, and therefore Matthew will be hoping to come back on. I've spoken to him, and he's happy to come back on. So, yeah, when we get another MS Guy episode in there, have him back on, see how he's doing, we will do it. But let us know, guys, at JarsGaming125@gmail.com. Everyone knows it by now. Come on, let's say that slow.
Also, I think we should also plug Roan. He started streaming again.
Yes, it's. I think we should plug Rowan, actually. Good reminder.
Yeah, because you are popping up on his streams, and in the future I might as well. And Beth might as well. You know.
Yeah.
Because he goes on Discord, and he's like, if we're on a Discord call, like he might just be streaming that as we talk and like
exactly
look at stuff. So, you know,
exactly.
if you want to see more of Beth or more of Judah, more of Judah, or maybe I'll be there one day. You know, and also then Rowan himself. He streams. Rowan's streaming again now. So
Rowan actually is streaming every single week. He's on YouTube. Go and check out my co-host and good friend Rowan. He is. I think. Thank you for reminding me, honestly, because we actually promoted him on our last episode. He's back now. He's back in the business. He's back at YouTube. Bit better than ever. Exams are done. He's now hitting the grind. He's actually doing it every week, and he's now gained a lot more subs than he actually originally was. And I started doing it with him. So yeah, and I gained a couple of subs as well. I was like, wow, thanks.
Nice,
and it was amazing, Elijah. We were playing games with our viewers. We were playing online games with just random people who just wanted to join.
Fun,
and it was super fun. I love playing with people that I don't even know. It's like, yeah, hello, join the stream, send you the link, we'll play this game, reacting to videos, doing all sorts of things, Jump King, all sorts of things. Yeah, Ryan's doing all sorts of things, guys. He's also doing
streamer. Yeah.
He's a variety streamer. So if you, and also he does, he basically just requests. So if you just jump into the chat box and say, review this video, please, he'll do it. He'll grab it up.
Ask him to show you the video of the cat in the blender.
He will. He'll show you the cat in the blender video. Because Elijah still doesn't believe that a cat was put in a blender.
It doesn't exist.
It does exist.
You can't gaslight me for that.
It does. I will. I'll send you all the YouTubers doing sad apology videos. This is not a video I should be making. I don't think so. I don't think. Yeah, this is a in joke, guys, but you'll find out probably a bit more about that later on.
Until you can find me the video, I believe it.
On our next episode, I think we'll touch a bit more on the cat blender video. That'd probably be quite an argument. Anyway, go check Rowan out. His link is also be in the description below, as is most of our stuff. And yeah, of course, Elijah, you remake Ace Attorney music. So yeah, you are the Ace man, the Ace Attorney.
Yeah, I rearrange, I remix, I remaster.
He does all the R's.
Yeah, all the R's.
Does it all.
I also write my own music. That's a W, not now. I also write my own music.
W, yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna be back soon. I get paid next week.
Nice.
I should then have enough for my laptop.
I know you said you that email, don't I? I said you that guy.
Yeah, do that, please,
Yeah, well.
But then I should have enough for my laptop, and then I just wait a week for it to come, and then I'm back on the grind as well.
Oh,
making videos. I'll be.
Nice.
Well, I said before, I won't start with videos. I'll start with my 2 Ace Attorney albums. So
nice.
They'll probably release August or September.
Yeah.
And that's if I'm back on the grind, the grind. Because
nice.
Banging out 2 albums in a few months.
Yeah.
It's kind of a tight squeeze, but
yeah.
I reckon I can do it. If I go full no life Eli mode and just do nothing but music, I'll be able to do it. It's fine. So.
I'm looking forward to your return to YouTube. It's gonna be fun. Then all three of the reunite has happened. Me, you, and Roan are all back at our YouTube jobs, and I've always stayed on it. To be fair, I've always been on the grind. Like tomorrow, once this episode's done, tomorrow I'm on the grind. I'm actually editing this episode, producing it, and that's a bloody palaver, guys. Putting the chapters into this thing. These episodes that you are listening to now they're not easy to actually edit and stuff and actually clip things up. It takes time, a lot of stress and effort. And I do it for you guys. And that's the grind, that's the part of doing. That's what YouTubing is about. The editing, the takes, what all goes into it all. It's all the art of it. So yeah, I've stuck at this grind and I will carry on. Keep going, stop until you drop, basically. And I'm not stopping this podcast. I'll carry it on. Even if I have 0 listeners, I'll carry it on. And that's how you get listeners.
Nice,
yeah.
Also, next month marks the 2-year anniversary of my first Ace Attorney album.
Really? Wow,
2 years.
Nice. Congratulations. Time flies. Do a community post and I'll share that.
I will, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It's been a long time. I think it's People be like, "Oh, it's been 2 years already. You've only done 2 Ace Attorney albums." Yeah, but I've done other albums in between. And my and the thing is, my Ace Attorney ones are a yearly thing. My subs will know they love Ace Attorney, so I have to keep them restrained and be like, okay, there's only so many Ace Attorney tracks. If I do them all within a year, you're gonna have nothing left. I had to keep you.
Exactly.
So I'm doing 1 album a year.
Yeah.
Or this year I'm doing 2, but that's just because I'm returning, doing a favor.
And you could do side content like reacting videos and stuff too.
I do.
Yeah.
I did a video talking about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet OST.
That was good. I saw that one.
I did a gaming video. I do talking videos every now and then. Also, every week, back when I'm on it, I'll be remastering music every week or 2. So I'll get a random song from any game. I do requests as well. All these kind of things. So, I'm always uploading things. It's not just, I don't just do albums. I do all sorts, but the albums are the main focus. Yeah.
Epic. Well, it's great. And honestly, it's been a blast working with you. And remember me when you're famous. Remember the podcast, when you're famous, when you're at Mr. Beast level, you got to be like...
Never.
I forget those peasants down there because I'll be big as well by then. No, shush. Anyway.
Yeah. Although it's a sad time, it's also a happy time because it's like I'm moving on from the podcast, but Roan's back.
Roan's back.
We all love Roan. We all missed him to be here.
Yeah,
so
we
Roan's
all miss
back.
him.
That's good news. And then I'll be back on my own YouTube channel.
Exactly. And this is think about it. It's been a pro for you because you've just had to sit down and enjoy a nice free. You don't even need to edit. Just enjoy it. Just talking. I borrow you for each week, and you just get a bunch of subs. It's like a big birthday present to you, isn't it? I've borrowed you each week, and then
I've gained, I think, 12 subs. So.
Nice. 12 subs. He's gained 400 subs. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for subscribing to Elijah. It's they're gonna look out for your content, I guess. But yeah, without further ado, now, guys, who will win out of the tracks we have chosen tonight? Tomodachi Life versus Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Which game has better music? We'll now leave it up to you, the listener. We want you to vote which game soundtrack you preferred. This is really important as you guys will make this series possible. Please write a comment down below or take part in our polls that will be posted on Spotify, YouTube's community post and Discord. And if you're unable to do any of this, please write in your vote at our email, jrsgaming135@gmail.com. And you have until next Saturday to vote, or you have probably a bit longer now because we're recording on a different schedule. And this is being released on Monday. Sorry about that, guys, but that's how it is. But the battle is on. Only one of us can win. Who will it be? This is the Nintendo Music Wars, mate. This tune is absolute vibes. Hey, Elijah, mate, come and check this tune out I've been listening to.
Oh, wow, that sounds really interesting, Judah, but I'm not quite sold on the fact that it sounds as good as the tune I'm listening to. In fact, if you listen to this tune, your mind will be blown away.
What? Really? Let me have a listen. Elijah, I beg to differ. My tune clearly sounded way better.
Is that so? Well, I'm in every mind to object to that, because this is the Nintendo Music Wars.
Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Music Wars, a brand new special and exclusive podcast series.
Each week, me and Judah will bring before you 2 game soundtracks and present 3 of our favourite music tracks from our chosen games.
We will then debate and explain why our chosen soundtrack is better in our own opinion.
Now, me and Judah are extremely biased, so this is where you, yes you, the listener, come in.
Each week we want you all to vote on which soundtrack you thought was best. We will be putting polls out on all our social medias, and this does include Spotify for those of you on Spotify.
And if you're unable to take part in any of the polls, please write in your vote to our podcast email, jrsgaming135@gmail.com.
At the end of each week, we will take in all the votes, and the one of us that gets the most votes that week gets 1 point.
And at the end of the series, the person who gets the most points wins the Nintendo Music Wars.
Elijah, the war is on. I will win this.
Not so fast. We all know who the musician is here.
Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Or watch on YouTube at the JR's Gaming Podcast.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Nintendo Music Wars.